Okay, here's my video on aligning the motor to my transmission plate for my Mini Cooper electric conversion. You can see I have cut out a faceplate and aligned it to the bell housing on my car with alignment pins on this hole and this hole. It's all very well aligned. I also roughed out a center hole where the motor would mount. Now, in order to align the transmission, what I'm doing is machining a very accurate center hole that my motor will align with. To do that, I'm actually using the spline on the transmission to do so. This transmission doesn't use a retaining bearing, so it has a solid shaft. So this is going to work quite well. Here's the tool I've created to do that. You can see I've cut splines so that it slides, but it is quite tight on the shaft. I have used this setup before with line boring. So at the top of this tool I have a set screw to hold the tool in place, and at the back I have a set screw drilled through to advance the tool. I'm using high-speed steel to cut this. I've done this with success before in the past with cold-rolled steel using just drill bits. With this is a hot roll steel plate which I used. I was having a lot of trouble with drill bits. So this is a little piece of hot-rolled steel that high-speed steel boring bar that I've cut off. If you're using aluminum or cold-rolled steel, you should just be able to use drill bits. Just cut the shank off of them and sharpen them into a drill bit. This one I've resharpened to do a final finishing cut, so it's quite rounded off. I've just cut the clearances on it and machined a flat for the set screw to hold onto. So this just inserts at the back here. This one's a little tight. Let's get it in there. There we are. And then you can see it, you can tighten that down using this set screw. Okay. This fits through this hole onto the shaft on my transmission. Looking like there should be a bit of room there, so... right, the other step, in order to get a nice consistent feed, I've set up a screw to advance the clutch bearing nice and smoothly. This is the shaft that advances the clutch bearing. So I just need to retract this feed screw and move the clutch back. So now I should be able to get this tool through here. There we are. It is back well past the cut now. I'm just going to bring it in and adjust it. So you can see it just loosen the top one off a little, and then tighten on the back screw to set your depth of cut. This is going to be a very fine cut. You need to hold the tool back somewhat because when cutting it will be forced away from the metal. On this cut I'm just taking a very fine finishing cut. I think just a little more. It's good to have your top tool fairly tense for sort of your final adjustment. That way your feed screw will not be too loose, which can allow it to fall out inside the transmission. I think that is going to take a cut. Okay. Now, getting this transmission to turn, that was quite the issue. So what I've done is, this wheel of the car is on the ground. Well, it's up on my block. That just stopped this axle from being able to turn because of the differential in the transmission. On this end, I have quite the contraption on here, basically just rigged up to very slowly turn the axle. That comes up to this switch here, which allows me to turn it on. So here we are, not taking any cut yet. So up here, I simply advance the feed screw, which gives me a very fine feed. You can see it's now beginning to take a cut. It's important to advance this very slowly. So basically I'm just looking for a perfect, once I have a perfectly concentric hole, then I can be confident that it's perfectly aligned with my transmission. It's looking pretty good. Nice fine cut. So here we are after my final cut. You can see I even was able to use the tool to try to bevel the edge a little bit. To the best of my efforts measuring, I can't see more than half a thou out of round. So with this circle being basically precisely round, and because it was cut with the transmission shaft itself, it should be perfectly aligned. So now on to machining the faceplate of the motor to make an exact fit.